Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing the perfect palette tag and I will link the original video where I found this tag down below in case you want to see that one. But I thought this was a really fun tag because I am a eyeshadow palette junkie. You may not have noticed that, but if you look at any of my hauls, they are very, very palette heavy most of the time, and I can't resist a nice, beautiful eyeshadow palette. So without further ado, let's go through the questions. So the first question was best packaging, and for that, hands down, I'm going to have to say that is the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette. This is a beautiful palette, and it's supposed to mimic kind of an oil slick, and just the detail and the colors, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And then if you look inside the palette as well, it's just to die for. I love the colors in it. I love that the colors in the palette are reflected in the packaging. It's just a great palette, and when I think of great packaging, this is the one that automatically pops into my mind. The next question was best color payoff, and for that I'd have to say the Kat Von D Monarch palette, which unfortunately I heard is being discontinued. So if you can get your hands on this palette, run and grab it because you will not regret it. I can't believe that they're discontinuing this. Apparently you can't even find it on the Sephora website anymore, but I haven't actually checked for myself. And if you're in the States, you can buy it apparently off of the Kat Von D website, but unfortunately they don't ship to Canada, so that's kind of a bummer. But anyways, this palette has beautiful color payoff. They're beautiful warm shades. Look at that. That is just one soft touch of the eyeshadow and super pigmented. Let me find space. I filmed another video earlier, so I still have some of the swatches, but like, look at that. That is one swipe. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful color payoff, and very pigmented. You definitely don't need to use much of this. Very light hand, and you've got what you need. Okay, so I had some technical difficulties. My camera randomly shut off and erased about half of my footage. So I'm going to go and backtrack a little bit, and we will finish this tag. Usually when I do filming, my husband sets up the camera for me, and he had to go back to work, so I am on my own here, so hopefully this footage is usable. Okay, and if it's not usable, I will be very upset. So the next question was most versatile. So this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette, and I really love this palette because it has your neutral shades, it's got your cool shades, and it's got your warm shades. It really has anything you need to do a full matte look because it's an all matte palette, but it's also great for supplementing other palettes, whether it be a palette that doesn't really have any matte shades, or if you really want to define, your crease or your eyes or anything, when you're using a different palette. It's really great, and when I think of versatility, this is the palette that I think of. The next question is best for traveling. So this would have to be the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I think anytime I've gone out of town, this is the palette that I take with me. It has a great array of different neutral shades, it's got warm shades, it's got cool shades, it's got shimmers, it's got a pop of color. When I go on vacation, I don't generally wear a lot of makeup unless I'm going to some kind of specific event. So this is the palette that I think of, and I always pack it with me. The next question is biggest regret. And I don't really have a lot of makeup regrets because I tend to do a lot of research before I buy anything, and that's probably because I don't have the luxury of just walking into a Sephora store and buying something. I have to order everything online because we don't have a Sephora store here. So I would have to say this is probably the Too Faced Return of Sexy palette, and only because I don't really use it that much. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's a beautiful palette. It seems to have a lot of metallic shades. They have great color payoff. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great palette. I just don't use it very much. I probably should. I think I was mostly lured in by the name, because every time I look at it, I think of the song Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake, and I just couldn't resist. But if we're going to go based on not using it very much, this would be the palette that I regret the most. The next question is best color names, and I really don't have an answer for this because, I think any palette I buy has really great color names. They're usually cute and witty, and they have nothing to do with the actual color themselves, but, there are ones that lure me in based on names, but I just don't really have one palette in particular that has the best names, so this is kind of a cop-out, but that's my answer. The next question was least used, And that again would have to be the Too Faced Return of Sexy palette because I don't really use it that much. I should, and I will make a point to start using this more because I do actually like it. I just don't use it very much. The next question is most used. So this would have to be the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. This is the cool toned of the Naked range. This is what I use for most of my everyday looks. I absolutely love the shade Booty Call. I don't know if you can see that. This is my favorite all over the lid shade. It's just really great for any everyday neutral look, and I do probably reach for this more than anything, especially with like my day-to-day, you know, just going into the office kind of makeup. Okay, so the next question is most loved, and that would hands down have to be my Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made palette. This palette is just absolutely gorgeous. As soon as this came into my life in October, I knew that we were going to be best friends. And I'm not exaggerating, I love this palette. I wear it all the time. It's got great warm shades like hot and cold. It's got this great deep purple look, and you know how I love a good purple shadow. It's got this beautiful minty green shade. Like, I just look at this and I can see so many very, very vastly different looks. So I absolutely love this palette. I wear it all the time. I will be devastated when I start to hit pan on it, and I should have bought it back up because I don't think you can buy it anymore, and I love this palette. The last question is Desert Island. Now, I'm assuming this means that if I was trapped on a desert island, which palette would I have to have with me? And I guess I'd have to say the Urban Decay Naked palette. Now, really, if I was trapped on a desert island, makeup would be the very least of my worries, and I would really not need any. But for the sake of this tag, this would be my choice because it's a very nice neutral palette. It's what I usually use for my no makeup kind of days, just to do a little, you know, just have a little something on the eyes, but nothing too extreme, nothing super blown out or anything like that. But if I was trapped on a desert island and I needed to wear some sort of makeup, this would be the palette that I think of. So that is my perfect palette tag. I'd love to hear what your answers are. I will put a copy of the questions down below. If you do this tag, whether it be on your blog or on your YouTube channel, please link it down below because I'd love to see your answers. If you don't have a blog or a YouTube channel, you can just put your answers in the comments down below. I'd love to read them. If you'd like to see more tag posts, just let me know and I can definitely do that. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!